Are you thinking about making a move to Ridgefield, Washington? Well, you are in luck. Today we are going to dial in and do a whole map tour about the entire city so you know everything that you need to before you move to Ridgefield. If you're ready, let's get started. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome and thank you for being here. I need to tell you, we talk about everything about living, eating, breathing, sleeping, Southwest Washington, Clark County, Vancouver, and today Ridgefield. And I want to make sure that you, if you do, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and definitely ding the bell so that you get notified every time I put out a new video about Clark County and Southwest Washington, so you can learn exactly what you need to know before you make your move. My name is Cassandra Marks, also known as Realtor Cass. I am a farmer with a wee little real estate problem, and I absolutely love what I do. And I get calls, texts, emails every single day from people just like you who are looking to make this move. And whether you're looking to make it in the next 9 or 90 days, please reach out to me. I want to make sure that you know where you're looking, where you want to look, where you want to go, and you have a direction. And I want to make the move as smooth as possible. So please, my contact information is down in the description. Reach out to me and I will get you taken care of. So as we talked about in the beginning of this video, we are going to take a deep dive into Ridgefield, Washington. And I also want to note, I want to make sure that you check out, we do have a vlog on Ridgefield. You can kind of get a tour and see some houses. We also have 6 suburbs of Vancouver, Washington that you should absolutely check out as well. But right now, we're here. We're going to do our map tour. Let's jump into the computer and get going. And welcome to the desktop. Today, we are talking about everything Ridgefield. We're going to take you on a map tour here. As you can see, we've got Ridgefield kind of squared out here. You know, and I got to tell you, I don't know why there's this little square. Google Maps does their thing, man. But Ridgefield, like it says, it is a city here in the northern part of Clark County, Washington, and the population was right around 10,000 in 2020, and it is growing quite exponentially because there has been a lot of building going on. And let's just dive right in here. Actually, I want to pull that off and hide everything. Can all go away so we can talk more about Ridgefield. All right, so this is I-5, and if I zoom out a little bit, you can get an idea here. So Vancouver is right here, Portland is down here. This is the Columbia River, so you can take I-5 up here to Ridgefield. Ridgefield is probably one of the largest areas that is being developed and built in the Clark County area. There's quite a bit of infill kind of here in the Salmon Creek area. There's a lot going on here in the Mount Vista and Orchards area as well, but ultimately Ridgefield is where it's at. I swear, every time I go up there, they have basically mowed down another field and put roads and curbs in, and they're like, okay, build houses. So it's been really interesting. So one way a lot of people get into town here is right here on this exit, and it's really close to the RV Inn Styles Resort and Amphitheater, as well as the Clark County Fairgrounds. So the RV Inn Style Resorts Amphitheater is basically a really large amphitheater, and they have tons and tons and tons of concerts. So this is a really cool place. There's a lot of outdoor concerts here throughout the spring, summer, and fall, and people seem to really like it. It's been renamed a bunch of times. The Ridgefield Amphitheater. There's a couple other names that it's gone by, but that the RV Inn Style, that's the newest one because those are the people that are paying for it. So there's also the Clark County Fairgrounds. And the cool thing about Clark County Fairgrounds is it's not really a place that's only used once a year. There's tons of different conventions and expos and things you can go and do at the Clark County Fairgrounds throughout the year. You know, sometimes they're like having like their hot tub sales and all that other stuff that you hear on the radio. But there's, you know, they had some dog training and some dog agility competitions there one day. That was really cool. Just a lot of different buildings and areas that they can use to bring people in and do different activities. So right there, typically what happens is you get off the interstate and then you go and you can drive up this little road, drive around, drive up this road and then drive over, or you can drive down here and over. So there's a lot of building going on in this area right here, really close to the Ridgefield Outdoor Recreational Complex. Like 95% of the new roads in the last 2 years, I swear, are not even on Google yet. Like it is like this place is just going crazy with building. I know that there's a development right here, and I know like this whole field is full of houses. It's just not on here yet. They're working on it, obviously. So as you come up a little bit further, they have the Ridgefield Outdoor Recreation Complex. Lots of, you have things like baseball fields, softball fields, all sorts of outdoor activities, places for kids and adults. If you're going to be in like an adult baseball or softball league, this might be one place that you would play. And then the Ridgefield High School right there. Then let's zoom out a little bit more. Let's do high level and then we'll kind of dig back in here. You go up here, and when you run into 501, this is like the old downtown area. The other way to get into Ridgefield is to come all the way up to I-5 and get onto Pioneer Street here. This is where they've been doing a lot of rezoning for commercial, and they're putting, things like grocery stores and Costco and different things like that, because Ridgefield was for a really long time what they call a bedroom community. And a lot of people are like, hey, Cass, what is a bedroom community? Well, a bedroom community is a community that doesn't really have any too much retail, and the residents of that community need to leave the community and go to another one to get, say, their groceries, or to go shopping at maybe like a Target or a Walmart or anything like that. I grew up in a bedroom community, and back in the Twin Cities, we used to commute from my city up to Apple Valley all the time in the southern Twin Cities, because my city just didn't have anything, and like they were not zoning for anything. They really weren't letting anything come in, and there was a lot of development. And so Ridgefield's a lot like the city that I grew up in back in Minnesota, where they're just all of a sudden they're like cleared the zoning. They're like, we're putting all these houses in, and people were getting tired of driving down. You would have to drive down and make your decision whether you wanted to drive over to Battleground. There's grocery stores and whatnot in Battleground, or if you wanted to drive down to the Salmon Creek and Hazeldale area to get, say, to a Fred Meyer or a Safeway or anything like that. Like that was the nearest grocery store. Sometimes people would drive up to Woodland too. So it just doesn't really matter. The center's pretty small. They don't have a ton of stuff, and they have a couple little markets and whatnot, but they're not going to have they don't have like a major grocery store or Walmart or anything like that. So let's get back into Ridgefield. So Pioneer Street, you can get off here and go through. Both sides of these road are just filled with houses. And so you keep coming over. Abrams Park, really big, nice park. If you check out one of my other videos where the full vlog, I talk from Abrams Park. Actually, I recorded a lot of the beginning and the end from there, because it's just such a really cool place. There's, as you can see, a nice little park here, but you can also, there's hiking trails, and they have baseball fields as well down here. And so it's well used. It's right in town, super easy to access. But ultimately you come down here, and from right about here to this section right here is the kind of old downtown, and they have tons and tons of shops. So let's just dig in here. So Pioneer Park is right there. The Birds and the Beans, it's a great coffee shop. They've got the Ridgefield Mercantile. They have some really cool housewares in here, and just tons of different little knickknacks and things. And where places have I been lately? They've got hair and florists. What is this? This is the Zebra and Starliner. It's a restaurant. Good burgers, super, super good burgers. And then, they have barbecue shop right down here though. And I don't know if they're going to pull it off, if they actually, right in this area, I think it's not popping up. I think it's right here. Because it's not marked very well, but because they've got this, I think this is where they have the food cart pod, and they have a sushi joint, and I think the barbecue catering, they're there. And I'm surprised that they don't have it marked a little bit better on the maps. Oh my gosh, do you want good tacos? right there. That place. There's one in downtown Vancouver as well. This is just a food cart, but the tacos there are phenomenal. Probably top 5 I've ever had, and that includes when I've been to Mexico. Um, they have sporting goods store, Fin and Feather is pretty cool place. You know, there's multiple different restaurants. There's actually a hardware store in town too, which is really cool. So if you need anything, and it's been there, and I swear the building, when I look back at the pictures, the building's been like a bunch of different colors, but I think my favorite right now has to be the blue. So it's fun and good to see. One area that I really like is this Overlook Park. There's like a little park here. You just can kind of walk around and do different things and see different things. But ultimately, this road kind of turns into a path, but kind of cuts over into like the boat ramp area and whatnot. If you turn and go down this way, there is multiple different public houses. There's the old Liberty Theater, which is really, really cool. They do have a lot of shows, music, you name it, they've got it. They've obviously have had some live bands in there. Just a really cool old, I think that, if I'm not mistaken, that was probably from I think it was like the 30s, I think is when they put that in, but I'm not quite sure. Um, the Sportsman's Public House is right there. Bunny's Pizza, really freaking good. Super, super duper good. And then the Ridgefield Community Library. One other place that I really like, the vibe and everything is both of these locations. The Ridgefield Craft Brewing Tap House. I sat there the other day. It was a beautiful day. And actually, that was the day that I recorded the video for the vlog. And I was hanging out there just talking to my girlfriend, and I had this amazing blueberry cider from there. And I've never, like, I love cider and I love wine. I'm not a huge beer fan, but like that cider was super duper good. And you could tell that the blueberries the blueberries that they used were fresh, because it popped so much, and they like cared so much about the cider. But anyways, and then this Mexican joint, so there's like a little hangout spot, like outdoor patio between these two and in front of both of them, so you can just kind of hang out. And I'm guessing from what I saw in the setup, they probably have some live music at the craft brewing sometimes, because they had kind of little tent area set up. But I hung out there. This Ridgefield skate park, there was a ton of people there the other day when I was out just hanging out with their family and their friends, and a lot of little kids out playing and whatnot. As for the rest of the area, so if you zoom out here a little bit, to get to Abrams Park, it's not very far out of town. You just go down to Fifth Avenue and you go past the Union Ridge Elementary School down to Division, and this wraps around and goes down to Abrams Park. And there's a disc golf course, and then obviously there's a couple different playgrounds to hang out at. Let's see if we can see some more of those. Yeah. Just a cute little park in the back area, kind of tucked away. Disc golf, if you're into that. They just put a new one close to my house, and just haven't been there yet. I want to go there. But one other real cool thing that I absolutely love about the Ridgefield area, and we've talked about some of the parks or whatever, but then the biggest, the best, and the most amazing park there is the Ridgefield National Wildlife Refuge. There are 2 entries to it. This is the auto tour start, and it is just south of downtown. So you come down here, you go down Hillhurst, and you come down. There's a huge downhill right here. They have a gate that closes it, so you can't get into it in the evenings. But once you come down here, you pay about $5, and you can go through the wildlife refuge, and it is really cool. There's tons of animals, birds, swans, deer, wolves, or coyote. Well, I don't know about wolves, coyotes, owls. We've seen some really amazing hawks the couple times that I've gone through there. You either see them sitting on a tree or a fence post, or like just kind of cruising around looking for something to eat. But you go in and you go down here, and you can drive down, and sometimes you can drive around. It just depends what's open, but you can drive down here and drive around. That's a little hiking trail. You can park and get out and like do a little hike walk. And you go out here, drive around some more. You end up driving around. There's all sorts of water everywhere, tons of places to stop. You can even drive down and around this area as well. You can, for $5, it's a lot of driving, and it's a really cool place to just hang out. And I've taken plenty of my friends, my mom. I mean, when my mom and I went, I think we were there for like 3 hours, and we just sat in the car, and like you could just pull off the side of the road a little bit and stop. There's all these like pull off places and just watch. And it just was a really nice day. And it was a really fun way to hang out. Otherwise, there is another area up here where you can enter, park your car, and then go and hike around and see the lakes. And this is a lot of backwaters and lakes to and rivers to the Columbia, which is right here. Obviously, Lake River is right here, which runs down a little bit more. But this is all like backwaters to the Columbia. So let's talk a little bit more about the school system in Ridgefield. So let's go on to niche.com and see a little bit more about what niche says. I like to use niche. I also like to direct people to say great schools, but I think niche has a little bit better information for our area. So if you come on here, overall school district, number 2 best school in Clark County, and number 1 is more than likely Camas. Camas is probably the number 1 place people relocate to in the Clark County area, Ridgefield being a close second. They've just done a really good job with their school district. As you can see, their overall score is an A-. They've got great scores for their teachers and their college prep. Let's see here, full. They got A-. Their sports teams are really good, honestly. And then they have great facilities. They've spent a lot of time with all these people moving in. They've spent money and levied and have worked on upgrading their schools and just making sure that they have a good student to staff ratio, which you can see here is 18-1. Fantastic. But other than that, 34th out of 251 best school districts in Washington, which is pretty amazing. And here's a little bit about where the schools are. The district is pretty big because the school district, it encompasses the center as well. And so it goes over and kind of almost over towards Battleground, up through the center and wraps around. And, you've got Union and the U Ridge Middle School. That's the Ridgefield High School is right there. And then South Ridge Elementary School. So they're working on making sure that they have plenty of space and that they're doing a really good job of making sure that teachers, the schools aren't getting overloaded with the amount of building that they are doing. Little bit more about Ridgefield and things to do. So we had talked about the RV Inn Styles and Resort Amphitheater. They have tons and tons and tons of concerts this summer, and I'm super excited. Like for all the like millennials like myself, like All American Rejects, Newfound Glory, and the Get Up Kids is going to be an amazing, amazing show. I cannot wait. But if you haven't seen Lindsay Sterling, she's going to be amazing. Tears for Fears, that brings me back to like the 80s and 90s. Just a really cool place to go and see a lot of different style of bands and to be outside and enjoy the weather, because the summers here in the Pacific Northwest are absolutely gorgeous. So you got to take advantage of them. Another thing, if you like to do outdoor activities, is the Ridgefield Raptors. They're amazing. So they are a wooden bat baseball team, and most of them are like college players, maybe just out of high school, and they come and they play for a couple months every year in the area. And in a league, they play against the Portland Pickles, which I've seen the Pickles play a ton. I've been to one Ridgefield game, and it was a lot of fun. It wasn't quite to the level, like the Pickles are a little ridiculous and kind of fun. They have a big mascot called Dylan the Pickle, and he just like this big pickle in a baseball suit. Anyways, but this is super fun, family friendly, like great things to do. You can go, have beer, good food, hang out, watch some baseball. Super fun just to hang out. As for pretty much everything else, any of the shopping that you're going to need in Ridgefield is going to be right along here, along this road. They're doing a lot of the building here. They've got a few restaurants and, the local joints like Ahmad Pizza, Taco Bell, any of the more of the fast foody things that you're looking for are going to be up in that area, like a Lava Java. They've got a supermarket up here. They are at some point supposed to be putting a Costco in. I'm not quite sure where it is and why it's not there yet, but they're working on it. But yeah, most of your shopping is right there. Unfortunately, if you want a Walmart or a Target, you are still at this point going to need to find yourself going back down to Salmon Creek and Hazeldale. Fortunately, that's just the way it is. But your groceries, you're going to be handled. Other than that, one other thing that I know it's not really Ridgefield, but a lot of people do like is Ilani. It is a casino, and they recently just put in a really nice, large, I think it was like 300 or 400 room hotel. And so people go up there. There's tons of restaurants in there. Actually, the sushi restaurant, there's the hotel. The sushi restaurant in there is really not that bad. I met a girlfriend and we had sushi there one night and it wasn't too horrible. I was kind of shocked. But slots, cards, whatever. It's a pretty popular area to go to. A lot of people commute up from Portland to go up to Ilani for the day. It's or the evening or whatever. They have concerts, they do shows, that kind of thing as well. But ultimately, that's another thing to do in the area. So overall, Ridgefield is very small yet growing, and it's getting bigger. You can find some older homes there for sure, but a lot of the times I would say you're going to find homes that are typically in the probably 5 to 7 year old range, and they've just been building like crazy. And yes, unfortunately or fortunately, you walk into a development and it's like 5 different houses in like 4 different colors, but the houses are pretty decent. They have a whole slew of different builders up there. Some of my favorites, obviously, Urban Northwest. Pacific Lifestyles isn't horrible. There's a bunch of other like custom home builders as well, but those two I've seen a lot in the Ridgefield and Northern Vancouver areas for building. So that's Ridgefield, Washington for you. I absolutely love the town. It is so cute. So again, my name is Cassandra Marks, also known as Realtor Cass, a farmer with a wee little real estate problem. And if you are thinking about making a move to Southwest Washington in either the next 9 or 90 days, please reach out to me. All of my contact information is down below. I would love to hear from you and talk about everything I love about this area so that you can love it as much as I do. Well, thank you so much for tuning in and taking your time today. I really appreciate you being here. Have a lovely rest of your day until I see you again. Bye.